This episode of Martial Arts Teachers TV is brought to you by theultimatemata.com. That's a new service from Mata where we handle all of your online marketing. Over 70% of people searching for businesses and services use the internet now rather than the yellow pages. So when they're searching for martial arts in your area, are they finding your school or they're finding your competitors? Let ultimatemata.com help them to find you online. I'm John Graden, and this week we're going to review the teaching match-off, the teach-off between Bruce Lee and Joe Louis. We watched the videos last week. I told you I would bring you my analysis this week. Plus, we're going to see a fantastic short drill from Chris Sutton of Cobra Defense that really illustrates this point perfectly. I'm John Graden, and this is a show for martial artists just like you and me who want to achieve success without selling out and have some fun along the way. Last week, after watching Bruce Lee and Joe Louis do virtually the same television segments, mind you, Joe Louis's was done on a comedy show and Bruce Lee's was done on a drama show, so there was certainly a different element there. But in both cases, the guys had a lot of leeway to teach exactly how they typically teach. And I've never worked with Bruce Lee, but I've certainly studied him for many years. And I've had the great honor of being a protege of Joe Louis since the mid-1980s. So I have some insights, and let's review what we did last week. The key point here is that a good teacher uses all three elements of influence, and we're going to go over those again here soon. But the big one for me is that you have to penetrate the conscious mind to really reach the subconscious mind on an emotional level. That's what makes a great teacher. That's what makes the emotional connection. That's what makes a great leader. So let's take a look at a fantastic example of this from Chris Sutton in the Cobra Defense Program.
Because you've never hit someone square in the face, and that's what we'll go ahead and assume. It's not something you're used to. The average individual has to do what we call calibrate their striking, which means you have to put the crosshairs instead of over here, right there. And how do we do that? We can hit a bag all day, we can yell and scream and punch, we can spar, but at the end of the day, when I'm out in the parking lot and I gotta hit another human being and hurt them bad, that has to happen. So this drill, we're gonna do a right cross, a C strike, and a thumb punch. And this is exactly how it works, guys. We're going to go super slow, and I'm going to say slow, 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 slow. Put it right on the target. You look at it. 3, 2, 1. Take a picture, close your eyes, open. And return. Map it in your mind. Map it in your mind. We're going to hit him with a blunt strike, equalizer, and then equalizer. It's super slow. You look at it, you burn it into your brain. Close your eyes, open. Now your mind understands what contact, what part to hit, what it feels like, what it looks like to be this close to a human. Get that into it. So, my side, right here. Right hand up, quickly. Build some imagery, guys. Visualize who this is, what it means to you. Slow. Touch right underneath the eye, put a little pressure. Close your eyes, take a picture. And return. How did that feel? Weird.
Review from last week, we just saw it right there. Elements of influence. Number 1, credibility. Number 2 is logic and technical ability. Does it make sense? And then there's always that very powerful and important emotional connection. The good instructor works all three areas. Obviously, credibility has to be within context. If Chris Sutton, now I'm going to go back to the Joe Louis story I told last week. He told a story of one of his instructors in Okinawa using only the sidekick. He was attacked by 5 guys. He put 3 in the hospital, one of which died later, and the other 2 ran away. So when he told me that story, it made an immediate emotional context. Now, mind you, if just some other black belt told me the same story, it wouldn't have the same impact. But because it came from Joe Louis, in that context, it was very powerful. And credibility means that the speaker is credible. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here. Okay, so we know the speaker's credible, and that the subject or the appeal, and all three of these influences are known as appeals. The appeal is ethical. It's something that we buy off on, and it's congruent with our values. So that's the first element of influence. Number 2 is the logical or technical. Does it make sense? And the logical appeal has a great place, and it's really good for building skills. And a lot of instructors, though, tend to have a bias towards technical presentation. And remember that many of the Asian instructors in Japan, Okinawa, and China, when they started working with Americans, there was such a language gap. There was very little detailed explanation, but tons of repetition. And this is fantastic for skill building, but it's not so strong for motivation. And that's why number 3 is so important. You have to make that emotional connection. There's a lot of ways to do that. Story, metaphor, that psychic story, stories that it's like an analogy. And using your voice is very important. You'll hear instructors that speak in a somewhat monotone. I think often of the Ben Steinman, I think the guy. He was well known for doing that teacher that would just drone on in class. Yes, turn your books to page 13. And he was just terribly boring. So using your voice inflection and, of course, your body language. It's called being in your body. So when you're talking in a passionate way, your body has to reflect that. Let's now go back to the teach-off. We're going to take a look at the 2 segments. Each guy's going to teach the sidekick segment, and then we're going to look at the teaching segments. This is fascinating.
All right, let me check, see what kind of power you got in your kicks. All right?
Okay.
Cole, can you throw me that focus pad?
Sure.
Yeah. I just want you to hit me as hard as you can with your best kick. Lots of power, okay?
I hope you're ready for this.
Are you kidding me, right, Cole?
I wouldn't kid with him, Cowie.
All right, let's change now. I don't want you to hold it. Right now, I'm going to give you an idea of the kind of power that you can really get in one of these kicks, okay?
Give it your best shot, Joe.
Go on, now brace yourself really hard.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Kick me in the stomach as hard as you can.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm holding an air shield. Come on.
Drive right through it, won't I?
I'll risk it.
Okay.
Come in. Now put your hands in here. Hold it against your side. Brace yourself. Now I want you to feel the difference when I put my body behind the kick. When I count to 3, exhale strongly. I'll be kicking you.
Okay.
Can you stand behind him?
Who's there?
Who is that?
It's me, baby. Just in time to pick up the pieces.
Oh, ho, ho.
You ready?
Ready.
1, a 2, a 3. Hey,
You all right?
What did I tell you? That guy's fantastic.
Even though The Fall Guy was a comedy and Longstreet was a more serious drama, the setups were virtually identical. The student is invited to kick the target. The student seems to think he may actually hurt the master. The master says he can take it. As Bruce Lee said, I'll risk it. And then the master explains the importance of getting your body weight behind the technique, and then he blasts the student across the room. Almost identical in terms of the setup, but what a stark contrast in the presentation style. And both are master instructors. So this is not a better or worse. It's just different. Lewis is very tactical, very matter of fact, whereas Lee was extremely passionate. And when he spoke with passion, his body reflected that. So let's now take a look at what I think is a more telling segment when they get into some of the details of teaching the martial arts.
Let's start off with a simple, basic principle of distancing, just to see if we kind of come from the same school, okay?
I went to all the schools, so that's no problem.
Okay. We have 3 separate distances. Now, notice from this distance, basically all I can do is maybe something like judo throws, jiu-jitsu arm locks, chokeholds, things like inside grappling. Then, next we have the outside distance line. From here, basically all I can do is maybe stuff like that. Got it?
Fundamental.
See? Huh? It's speed, right? It's not weapons. Now, weapons aren't important. The thing that's important is you.
Excuse me.
All right? It's your ability
Talk to you.
to use your mind to make use of anything that's around you. Got it? Here, I'll show you. For example, I can use that rope. I can use her coat, or look, throw me that script. Take a simple script, all right? Roll it up quickly. What have I got? Just like a stick. Now, let me show you how to use it. Now, let's imagine we were in a street fight. And what I want you to do is take your best punch right at my head. Go ahead.
Looks awfully dangerous to me.
That's concentration.
Told you it was dangerous.
Yeah, fantastic. What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Intercepting fist, huh?
Or foot. Come on, touch me. Any way you can. You see? To reach me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. In this case, I'm using my longest weapon, my sidekick, against the nearest target, your kneecap. This can be compared to your left jab in boxing, except it's much more damaging.
I see. Well, speaking of a left jab,
Oh, this time I intercept your emotional tenseness. You see, from your thought to your fist, how much time was lost.
not much. Yeah, Lee's going to teach me all this.
I cannot teach you, only help you to explore yourself, nothing.
The teaching segments really illustrate the difference in the teaching styles. Bruce Lee, very passionate, really does a great job of using his voice, even though his English is not that clear and he's speaking a second language, his voice is totally congruent with his body. When he says he wants him to hit hard and use power, he's shaking his fist at him. His entire physiology reflects and is congruent with the message. And Lee, and it's very clear when Longstreet says to his friend, yeah, Lee's going to teach me all this, and Lee says, I cannot teach you. I can only help you explore yourself. He is a philosophical teacher. Joe Louis, scientific. To me, he is a martial scientist. He is truly studying and thinking about martial arts virtually 24 hours a day for as long as I have known him. He is a walking encyclopedia of martial arts. He's an amazing teacher. He's a very tactical teacher, very practical, and that's why he's far more of a psychological teacher than as a philosophical teacher. Very tactical base. He started talking about the 3 ranges of distance, and when he started to say that, you know, speed is important, but it's not about technique. It's about you. It's about using your mind. You think he's going to go into something philosophical, but not Joe Louis. He goes into using your mind so that you can create a weapon out of anything, such as this script. And I think the modern day version of this, and we saw it very well, a good instructor uses all of this. Your voice and your body are one. You have philosophy, you've got tactics, you're scientific, you know what you're talking about, and you've got credibility. And boy, does Chris Sutton bring that to the table. The segment we saw, he explained the concept. He used words to create the logic. This is what we're doing, and this is why. But when it came to imprinting on the subconscious mind, that feeling of actually hitting somebody in the face, even though it's done very slowly, my wife, right after class, said that made her feel very uncomfortable. She's never done that before, and the students all reflected that. So what Chris Sutton did, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant, he let the technique do all the work on the emotional level. That, to me, is just a great example of seeing superb teachers in action, and it's a lot of work to put it together, but boy, I enjoy this so much, and I certainly hope you do as well. I like doing these martial arts teachers TV shows. They're a lot of fun. I invite you to subscribe to us on iTunes, submit comments, tell all your friends, and of course, join us at ultimatemata.com, where we'll help you with all of your online marketing needs. I'm John Graden. Thanks so much. Spread the word. Bye. The Martial Arts Teachers Association is proud to present Cobra Self-Defense. Cobra is different. What's different about Cobra Defense? There are no shortage of self-defense systems out there screaming over each other that they're the only authentic, real deal, real world, no BS, no nonsense, battle-tested, military-approved, street-certified, most lethal, promising that you'll become the most dangerous person you know and who'll be feared and respected by all. Ooh, scary. We get that. We are not that, and we don't want anything to do with that. What's different about Cobra? Cobra is a self-defense business system, not just a self-defense system. This is critical. Cobra is not about comparing gun extractions or what military or police academy this came out of. Cobra is only about you making more money and attracting a brand new market and all the revenue streams that come with it to your school. This works because, most of all, Cobra is about getting you more adult students into your current martial arts program. Most schools have a hard time getting adults in. Cobra really opens the floodgates up for adult students. And that's because Cobra was designed by Chris Sutton in his martial arts school. This is not designed by some ex-military self-defense trainer who is on top of a mountain somewhere teaching self-defense, and he leaves it to you to try and figure out how to make money with the system. This was designed specifically to work within the martial arts school. So Cobra is designed to reach and attract in a market that typically does not come into your martial arts school. These are adults that want the confidence of self-defense, but they don't want all the rank and the ritual that comes with martial arts training. They don't want that level of commitment. So Cobra's business structure and system is very attractive to this market, and they enroll by the dozens. And the beautiful thing about this is that 70% of these students enroll into the main martial arts program. So here we're looking at just one of, now Chris Sutton's done nearly 50 of these 10-week academies, and here's one of the early ones. And you notice it's not like a lot of the self-defense systems you're seeing. These are happy people that have enjoyed a really beneficial program. It's an outstanding program. I've gone through it. My wife has gone through it. We love it. We're behind it all the way. It's the best stuff I've seen. And boy, it can have a massive impact on your school. So Martial Arts Teachers Association and Cobra Self-Defense Systems, we are teamed for your success.